But of course, there's a lot more work to do. That's why a number of us have been working hard on legislation that would get government out of the way in another important respect. As the tobacco industry has changed, some farmers in states like Kentucky have been searching for a new crop that can support their families and grow our agricultural economy. And many believe they've found such a product, industrial hemp. But the federal government has stood in the way. Mr. President, it's time to change that. That's why some colleagues and I are introducing legislation that will modernize federal law in this area and empower American farmers to explore this promising new market. I want to thank my fellow Kentucky Congressman, Jamie Comer, my good friend and colleague from Oregon, Senator Wyden, for their leadership on this issue, as well as Senator Merkley for his support. During the recent state work period, I stood with Kentucky's Agriculture Commissioner, Ryan Quarles, to announce my intention to introduce new legislation on this subject. So today, we're introducing the Hemp Farming Act of 2018. It will build on the success of recent pilot programs and take a big step toward growth and more innovation. As I travel across Kentucky, I've spoken with farmers, manufacturers, and small business owners. Time and again, they shared with me their enthusiasm for hemp's potential to re-energize agricultural communities and provide a new spark to the U.S. economy. This bill will help make that potential a reality. But first, let's remember how we got to this point. In 2014, I secured language in the Farm Bill that established hemp pilot programs in states that allow hemp research. The results have been extraordinary. In Kentucky, hemp is proving useful across a wide variety of innovative products. Its fibers are being added to concrete and home insulation. Its extracts are being researched for potential health benefits, and some breweries in Kentucky have even crafted hemp-infused beer. Last year alone, the hemp industry added 81 new jobs in Kentucky and yielded more than $16 million for Kentucky farmers. And that, Mr. President, is just under Kentucky's research pilot program. And of course, that's just one state. Already, in fact, around $600 million in hemp products are sold each year here in the U.S. But due to current laws, much of this hemp has to be imported. That cuts out our American farmers. It's time for that to change. The legislation we're introducing today will solve this problem and get the federal government out of the way of this promising market. The Hemp Farming Act of 2018 will do the following. First and foremost, our bill will finally legalize hemp and remove it from the list of controlled substances. By recognizing the difference in statute between hemp and its illicit cousin, we can remove much of the confusion facing farmers, producers, and state agencies. Second, the legislation will allow states to become the primary regulators of hemp if they can develop a plan to properly monitor its production. Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner Quarles is a strong supporter of hemp and its potential. And under his guidance, the industry is already growing and maturing in Kentucky through the pilot program. He and state leaders like him around the country are well positioned to develop their own policies and take the industry to the next level. If states are unable or choose not to create their own regulatory plan, the U.S. Department of Agriculture will provide the necessary oversight. Third, this bill will also allow researchers to apply for competitive federal grants from USDA so we can continue to see more innovations with respect to this extraordinarily versatile crop. And finally, our legislation will also explicitly make hemp eligible to apply for crop insurance. That will enable farmers to build out a steady business model and put it on a level playing field with other crops. So I look forward to continuing to work with colleagues here in Congress and hemp advocates in Kentucky and throughout the nation on this legislation. Again, I want to particularly thank Senator Wyden and Senator Merkley for working with me on this bipartisan bill. I also want to thank again Congressman Comer, a longtime advocate for hemp, who, by the way, was a former agriculture commissioner in Kentucky, for taking the lead in introducing companion legislation over in the House. So I'll be proud to continue to work with him on this issue. Today's a promising step. I'm hopeful that together we can get this bill across the finish line and on to the President's desk.